So dear students, now let me discuss about directional derivative and gradient. And obviously for a scalar function, we'll see it for a scalar function. And in the last class, I have discussed little bit about scalar function and vector function and what is actually mean by scalar field, vector field, etc. I have discussed little bit. And now I am going to discuss about directional derivative and gradient, of course, because this gradient will automatically come when you talk about directional derivative. And this is the lecture series of vector calculus, okay, for net, gate, jam, jest, for all competitive exam. This is a series of vector calculus, and before it I have discussed about multiple variable and single variable calculus also for id jam only, because that portion is in id jam syllabus only. But you can understand here about vector calculus is the syllabus of all for all competitive exam, and we will understand here the directional derivative and gradient. Okay, so before calculating this directional derivative mathematically in more formal way, let me discuss first with the help of an example so that you can understand what this directional derivative actually means. Okay, so let me take a field. Obviously you need a field for which you can define gradient, for which you can understand about directional derivative. So let me take a physical example, a field of temperature field. Okay, so suppose you have a room like this, okay, and you have a room, and at each and every point there will be temperature, and the temperature will differ at different point. So the temperature will be the function of space, that is the function of xyz. So let me take the temperature T at any particular point T as a function of xyz. Okay, now if you move from this point, from this starting point, if you move any direction, you will get the temperature is increasing in certain direction, the temperature will be decreasing in certain direction, or maybe it is constant in a certain direction. So what you will see here, the temperature is changing with respect to the space, and if you take its a small arc length s, and for that arc length, that is delta s, for that arc length delta s, if the temperature is changing delta t, then the rate of change of temperature with respect to s will be del t upon del s, del t upon del s. And if you take the limiting value of this, that will be limit delta s tends to 0, delta t upon delta s is nothing but dt upon ds, and this dt upon ds is mathematically known as directional derivative for a particular direction, and it physically means that at any particular direction the temperature is decreasing or increasing, the temperature is changing. And sometimes we will interested about in which direction this temperature will change more rapidly, that means in which direction this dt upon ds will be maximum. So in which direction the directional derivative is maximum, we will see, that will give you that in which direction the temperature will change more rapidly. Okay, so this is actually the physical meaning of directional derivative, and why we need to know about this directional derivative, why we have to understand, we have to calculate the directional derivative. This is all about that thing. So let me take another more example before calculating the directional derivative mathematically. Okay, the concept will be more clear to you if you take another example. Okay, so let me take another example, and let me take a hill. Okay, that will be obviously the gravitational potential field. Under the gravitational potential field, let me discuss about the concept of directional derivative. So if you take a hill like this, so let me take a hill like this. Okay, and there is some level surface on the hill like this. So let me take, this is our x axis, and this is our y axis, and this is our z axis. Okay, so now at any particular point from this xy plane, if you take a distance, upward distance or height z, then here the potential v is equal to mgz. This is the potential. So v is the function of actually xyz, that means mg into z, and sometimes z is also maybe also function of xy. Okay, so if z is also function of xy, then it can be said that mgz xy. Okay, now as v is the function of z and as mg is constant, and when z is equal to constant, v is also constant, so v is completely dependent on z. So if you talk about the directional derivative, if you talk about the directional derivative of z, it will give you the same thing, that will be directional derivative of v, because v will change in that direction, in which direction z will also be changed, because v is purely depend on z and z is function of xy maybe. Okay, and you can see for a particular z this v is constant. So if you take this curve, so this is the boundary of the level surface. So if you take a boundary at a particular height from the xy plane, at a particular height z from xy plane, if you take on the hill at a particular distance z, particular height z, and at that point if you add or if you connect all the points which have the height z with respect to this plane, then with respect to this xy plane, then that curve will form a level surface. That curve will be the boundary of the level surface, because if you take the cross section along this curve, you will get a level surface on which at each and every point the potential is same. Now if I ask you a very interesting question, that can you say from a particular surface, level surface, in which direction you have to move to get the downward slope, in which direction you have to move to get the downward slope that will vary more steeply? Can you find? You have to find in that case the change of z with respect to this direction. So let me again take this direction as s, arc length as s, or you can say this is the change of arc length as delta s. So you have to find out this dz upon ds, again. But now we are interested not about only dz upon ds, but also in which direction this dz upon ds is maximum. That will tell you in which downward direction you will get the more the slope along this downward direction, the more steeply, very more steeply, in which direction you will get from here dz upon ds, in which direction this dz upon ds is maximum, downward direction. Maybe if z is upward direction, then dz will be positive. If z is downward direction, then dz will be negative. If z is along this, if you move along this surface, along this level surface, then z will be constant. So according to this, v will also vary. But if you want to know about in which downward direction, z will be the slope of the z will be maximum. It will vary more steeply in which direction. In that case, you have to find out this dz upon ds, the maximum value of dz upon ds, and that is the directional derivative. That's why we need to know about this directional derivative. Okay, now let me calculate mathematically what will be the mathematical form of this directional derivative, how you can evaluate the mathematical directional derivative for a particular function for a particular direction. Okay, so let me see mathematically. Okay, so let me define, or let me take a general function, that is phi xyz. So let me take a general function, that is phi is the function of xyz, and suppose we need to find out the directional derivative along this direction, and this direction will passing through the point x0, y0, z0 to a certain point, you can say at a distance s. Okay, if you have a point that is xyz, and along this direction the unit vector is u cap, Okay, so the vector along this direction, what will be the vector along this direction? That is s u cap, and that vector, let me take it as a I cap plus b j cap plus z k cap. This is the unit vector. Let me take this as a unit vector. Okay, so this is u cap is the unit vector, and let me take this unit vector is in general a I cap plus b z plus z k cap into s. This is the magnitude of this. Okay, and mathematically you know what is the vector su vector. You know this su vector will be nothing but x minus x0 I cap, plus y minus y0 j cap plus z minus z0 k cap. Okay, and that will be equal to let me take this here. Okay, so this is x0, y0, z0, and this is our point xyz at a distance s. Okay, and along this direction the unit vector is u cap, which is defined as a I cap plus b j cap plus z k cap. So now this will be equal to what? A s I cap, you can say, plus b s j cap. Okay, plus bs j cap plus cs k cap. Okay, cs k cap. So this is not z, this is c actually. Okay, abc cs k cap. Now if you compare the coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap, then you will get x minus x0 is equal to what? Is equal to as. So x will be equal to x0 plus as. Similarly, you will get y is equal to y0 plus bs, and you will get z is equal to z0 plus cs. z0 plus cs. And these three are actually the parametric equation of this line, where parameter is s. So this is the parametric equation, you can say. This is the parametric equation of this line with of parameter s. And now if you put this x, y and z in this function phi x, y, z, then this function will convert it into one variable s, so that you can easily find out d phi upon ds, which is the directional derivative. So now let me put here, and let me find out del phi by del x. Okay, del phi by del s, because this is now if in general function phi x, y and z, so it will obviously be a form in the form of x, y, z. Then you have to put there this x, y and z in terms of s, and then if you want to find out d phi upon ds, then it will be very easy. Okay, so now in general you have the Pfaffian representation for this. So this d phi will be, del phi upon del x into dx plus del phi upon del y into dy, okay, plus del phi upon del z into dz. We have this kind of situation. This is the Pfaffian representation. But now you need what? D phi upon ds. You need d phi upon ds. So d phi upon ds will be what? Del phi upon del x into dx upon ds plus, this is a very easy straightforward calculation, then del phi upon del y into dy by ds, okay, plus del phi upon del z into dz by ds. Now if you take here from here dx by ds, what you will get? So please see, you will get from here that dx upon ds is a only, because x is constant. So dx upon ds is equal to a. Similarly, you will get from here dy upon ds is b, and you will get from here dy upon dz is equal to c. Okay, so now let me put here in place of ds, dx, ds, dy, ds and dz, ds. So what you will get? So you will get just a very simple equation, that is del phi upon del x into a plus del phi upon del y into b plus del phi upon del z into c. And you can see this is just a dot product of two vector. Let me take this del phi upon del x I cap. You can write it like this: del phi upon del y j cap plus del phi upon del z k cap dot, you will have a I cap plus b j cap plus c k cap. So you can find this d phi upon dx, which is known as directional derivative, is dot product of these two, and this is popularly known as grad phi, and we have taken it as the unity vector u cap along this direction. So if you want to know the directional derivative along any particular direction, you have to know the unity vector along this direction, and you have to take the dot product of this with the gradient of the scalar function, and this is popularly known as grad phi. Okay, so this is the directional derivative grad phi dot u, and at the same time you have to define here one more thing, that is the gradient. That's why I have written here, okay, gradient. So at the same time you have to define gradient. So what is the gradient of a scalar function? You can define from here that grad phi is nothing but del phi del x I cap plus del phi del y j cap plus del phi del z k cap. Okay, so this is defined as del phi, a gradient of phi. Now you can write it in another way also, that is del x I cap plus del y j cap plus del z k cap. You can write it in this way also, okay, and it will operate on phi. So this is actually nothing but operator, okay, an operator, and this is the del operator. You can take it as this is as del operator, okay, phi. So this del operator can also be defined like this: del x I cap del x I cap plus del y j cap plus del z k cap, and this is known as nabla. Okay, this is operator is del operator, but the symbol is nabla. Okay, and if you talk about this operator, then it can be called as del operator. Del operator, and this del operator when operate on a scalar function phi directly, then this is known as gradient of this operator, gradient of this function, that is gradient of phi, or popularly known as grad phi. Okay, so this is all about gradient of phi and the directional derivative, gradient of a scalar function and the directional derivative at a particular direction. For directional derivative, what you have to do, you have to just take the dot product of grad phi and the unit vector along which you have to find out the directional derivative. Okay, so now let me see one example so that you can understand and you can apply this concept, because at the end of the day for competitive exam you have to solve problem. Okay, so let me take an example. So find the directional derivative of the function phi. Okay, the function phi is given, phi will be the function of xyz, and here given this is x square y plus xz, and you have the point it as 1 comma 2 comma minus 1, I think, yes, 1 comma 2 comma minus 1, and find the directional derivative. Okay, find the directional derivative, along the vector. You have to take a vector, so the vector will be given always, the directional derivative along a is equal to, a vector is equal to, here given, and a vector is nothing but 2 cap minus 2 cap plus cap, 2 cap minus 2 cap plus cap. So you will have to find out the directional derivative along this direction. So what you have to find out, two things you have to find out, one is grad phi, another is a cap, because you have to know the unit vector along this vector. So what will be a cap? So let me give you the solution. So what will be a cap? So a cap will obviously be a vector divided by mod a. So what is a vector? A vector is 2 cap minus 2 cap plus cap, and modulus of is root over 2 square plus 2 square plus 1, that means 3. So it will be 2 minus 2j plus cap divided by 3. Okay, and if you talk about grad phi, so what will be grad phi? So to find out grad phi, you have to find out del phi del x, del phi del y, and del phi del z. So let me take directly. Okay, so what is grad phi? Grad phi will be, first term will be del phi del x. So if you find the derivative of phi with respect to x, you will get from here 2xy, and from here you will get only z, del phi del x I cap. Okay, plus you will get del phi del y. For del phi del y, this term will be 0, and here this term will only be survive because derivative of y is 1 with respect to y, so it will be only x square. So it will be x square j cap, and if you take the differentiation with respect to z, then this term will survive, only x will survive.